Okay, it's September 1st, the year the Republic collapsed. It's 2021. So, as far as we can tell, the August 31st thing didn't really yield a whole lot of results. I don't know, it's hard to tell. I mean, to be honest, guys, for y'all, this is like 3 days ago almost. I still haven't had enough free time not being working to really try to assess, if anything, what fucking happened. I've seen lots of videos of people standing in places, but I mean, the way you get news and information is so, if you're outside of the mainstream narrative, it's so bad. I mean, it's terrible. There's no way to prove anything of anything. That's why I said yesterday, maybe a bunch of truck drivers did block a bunch of shit and really fucked up shit, but they're not going to come out with a big report and be like, here's the interview with these badass truck drivers and we're going to hit your dopamine receptors and make you feel like there's been a victory. They're not going to give that to you. It's constant demoralization. The fact that people even coordinated enough to print the banner up to put in front of that one truck, that at least, to me, those are indicators that there's enough people talking about this and wanting to do this that it's reasonable to assume that there's more of it than you probably are told there is, at least. I guess I could say it like that. So, I was talking to one of my Australian mates on a messaging application, and he was quite dismayed at the situation, to the point that he was saying, you know, if I have to, I'll live in the outback and trap animals and hide from this authoritarian government. And I read that to my wife, and I was just like, dude, can you believe this? This dude is like literally driven to the point that he's willing to just go live in the fucking woods because the government is just fucking out of control with its just. I mean, people still don't grasp what they're doing in Australia. Like, if you're an American, apparently they can just randomly drug test you there, like on the street, pull you over. Oh, sorry, drug test. Like, just because. Random breathalyzer. All this shit's being done to Aussie Cause Act. And then the firearms prevention order or whatever, they could, it's like the red flag laws. We kind of have this. Oh, by the way, I guess today, since today's the first day that it's legal, we can carry constitutional carry now in Texas. It's awesome. So I'll bring out the little buddy right there to celebrate. But anyway, man, now little buddy got me off track. Oh yeah, the cops, they can essentially search you whenever they want in any property, vehicle, or anything that you're associated with if they put this order on you, which is what they did to Aussie Cause Act. Just because the government's fucking with them. And that started getting me into, I was just discovering more and more, and then like, coincidentally, somebody I watched named Tim Pool had this lady from Australia on, or an Australian expatriate who's, I guess, now a refugee here in Texas. I think her name is Sydney. I can't remember her last name. But they were just talking about, and there was this other dude on there who was a Christian who was versed in biblical theory. Anyway, they were just talking about how tyrannical Australia is and the differences in the culture as to why y'all down there, apparently a lot more y'all are just absolutely happy with just being a cog in the machine, and she'll be right. And gotta say, that's genuinely odd to me. But we have plenty of people here. There are plenty of people that live in the United States that would happily, like, they would be the people in the Milgram experiment that would just be, yeah, please, white lab coat, tell me to, yes, electrocute this fucking guy. There's lots of those people here. sorry, one of my customers bought me a styrofoam cooler full of fucking beer and ice, and now it's all melted and now it's squeaking, but so I'm trying to talk louder. Hopefully this whole video's not a fucking ruin. But yeah, there's a lot of people that would happily roll us into pits and gas us. And I think what I'm thinking, this is just, anytime I give my opinion, it's just my opinion. I am in no way formally educated about any of this. But I feel like that element has always been in humanity. And it's the minority that ever will do anything. If society is pushed too far, most people will, you know, like if a dude runs up and punches you in the face, you're not going to go stop all of society to make sure something's done about it if everybody else ignores you. You know, because first thing's gonna be like, why are you complaining that somebody punched you in the face? What are you, a pussy? You know? So imagine that on a grand nationwide scale of, well, the government just wants you to stay home for 2 weeks and then shut your business down for 2 weeks, and then it's 2 years, and then wear a mask, and then don't wear a mask, and then wear a mask, and then wear 2 masks, and then possibly wear 3 masks, and then completely ignore all science about oxygen deprivation. Dude, like the first month of that shit, man, the first month of that shit, I'm driving on the same fucking road I'm on, but I was going the other way. I was going home, and I see that this whole train wreck of fucking trees knocked over and cars like this, and there's these other people climbing in trying to help the guy, and I fucking stop and I put my little flashy lights on my truck on so that people don't come and hit it so they can see. And I go over there and try to see what the fuck's going on, and it's this big obese guy who just passed out driving and almost did like a Ted Kennedy into a fucking pond over here, and he had his mask on. I'm like, bro, take that off. You're fucking a big obese guy who fell asleep or passed out. You need to breathe, bro. Get it off. And he's just like, but COVID. I'm just, oh my God. Oh my God. If you watch some of my old videos from like a year ago before I even was really making videos, I probably talk about this because I've basically just been like, you know what? I'm just going to use YouTube as a way to have these videos be publicly on the record, and if I ever need to refer back and look what I said 2 years ago, whatever, I just figured that's what it'll be. So like once recently in the Australia shit has just pushed me to the point that I'm like, I'm gonna go post this where people can see it, and that's how this shit started. But yeah, just people will go along with whatever they say, and it's mind-boggling. And the only thing I can say, and this is the original point of making this video, fucking deal. I don't know what to tell you to do, and I won't advise you on what we or any group of people need to do, because then, you know, you can go talk to somebody else and tell you, here's what you need to go do. No, motherfucker, I ain't saying that. But you need to decide if you're going to do anything, because it looks like a lot of people just are not. And that's fine. But if a bunch of people are just not going to do anything and just let this keep happening, you know, if a bunch of people are just going to let this keep happening, then we need to, those of us that are prepared for what may be coming and know that we need to change our methods in order to survive, we need to stop wasting our resources on people that don't want to hear it. Like if you have friends that at this point you still cannot convince to like buy some extra food and maybe think about getting out of the city. And I have family members that are in this kind of scenario. There's no way you could convince them, hey, you should probably move out of the cities, dude. Like, oh my God, do you not understand what's going on? It's just they won't. So invest your time on people, even if it's a small group of people, that understand that the old world is gone, and we are, in my opinion, we are beyond a political solution. Like, imagine what 2024 is going to be like when you have all of the Democrats thought that system needed to be fixed, and that the machines that count the things that pick who's in charge were fucking. They literally said they were hackable and needed to be looked at and was dangerous. Like, even the person who's currently the vice president is like, these things are hackable. I mean, look at this, folks. We can't even freely speak. But all the Democrats and that other team was like, we want these rules in the game. Then, when the next game comes, no, we don't want these rules. We want the opposite rules. Anyone who wants those rules is crazy. So that should make it where, like, they made everybody so psychotic about Donald Trump that if in that instance it would have benefited him to have the system that we use to pick our leaders audited, then we don't want it audited. And that's insane. So it's clear that a lot of people are just insane, or they're under trauma-based mind control from their fear of a ventilator. And their fear of a ventilator. Oh, by the way, I would never tell you to do anything that has any medical benefit whatsoever, but I don't see any problem in saying why you can't just do it for kicks. So if you want to have a really good time, you know, like it's Friday night and you want to put on some music and just zone out, get some food grade 3% hydrogen peroxide and medical grade saline. And there's a ratio that you can look up, and then you put that in a nebulizer, right? And it's a 1 part to 5 parts, and the 5 parts is the saline, and the 1 part is the other thing, right? And you put it in a nebulizer, and then it turns that mixture into little tiny bubbles, and you breathe it into your lungs, and then you breathe it out your sinuses. And on a completely unrelated note, hydrogen peroxide kills those little things that contain RNA that make you feel bad, but that's completely unrelated. But if you just want to, like, get your rocks off, get some 3% hydrogen peroxide, 1 part of that, 5 parts of medical saline in a nebulizer, and breathe it in and out, and listen to some Led Zeppelin or something, man. And it's a great time. But don't ever do it for any medical purposes. But anyway, you need to decide if you're going to do anything, and if the people around you are dead weight and will not. Bro, at this point, if it's like 1984 and Fahrenheit 451 and everything Yuri Bezmenov ever said, and like almost every predictive programming fucking weird sci-fi movie, if all of them are converging and you still don't think you need to do something, then you're a dumbass. You're a dumbass. Even with the level and degree of all information being censored, and like we're all being manipulated, and every different movement, with every political movement that you see is manipulated. There's not one, okay? There's not one that's not. It would be silly for them not to be. Oh yeah, we're all just going to publicly start a group where we criticize the people in charge that have all the power and control everything, and not expect our group to be infiltrated. That's audit teams, that's fucking everything. So the only thing I don't know. I don't even know all what's true. Like I told y'all in one video to go watch an Alex Jones movie because I like the way it lays out the agenda for the next 20 years. But I mean, that doesn't mean that people that more involved in making it may not also be manipulated. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't know enough. I'm never going to be like, here's the good guy, here's the bad guy, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to do it like that. Because I don't even know. I've been trying to figure that out for 20 years. But anyway, man, 14 minutes. Only a hardcore badass is going to watch all this 14 minutes. But I'm going to get new tires for my truck because they look like those cartoon tires that, like, you know, imagine like Daffy Duck is driving in a car and the tires are all and it's got a big patch sewn on that's going around. That's about where we're at right now. So we're going to get new tires. And that's about it. So I'll see you later. Thank you. Good night.